Hey witches, welcome to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy, a magical living podcast for the busy witch. I'm Morgan, eclectic witch of almost 25 years, Avalon priestess, and busy witch. Here we'll talk all things witchy, from current metaphysical happenings to my busy witch tips and tricks, and everything in the in-between. This podcast is my personal journey, filled with my knowledge, opinions, and unique way of looking at the world. Join me as I weave the magical and the mundane in every episode. Hey witches, welcome back to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy. I'm Morgan, and today I am talking about 5 easy spellcasting tips. Or I'm giving you all 5 easy spellcasting tips. When it comes to spellcasting, there can be around 12 or more steps to fully immerse yourself in raising energy, grounding, performing the spell, calling in elements, calling in deities, like all of that. So from start to finish of your ritual, there can be 12 or more steps. And that's like a holy hell, right? Like, oh my God, does everyone have time for 12 steps every single time you want to cast a spell? No, we're busy witches, right? So even in an eclectic witch deck that I created one time, I narrowed it down to 9 steps for a full spell casting ritual. But that is still a holy hell. 9 steps. In an Ink Spirit lesson on spell casting, in my Ink Spirit Coven, I narrowed it down even further to 5 steps. But again, 5 steps, good, quick spell, but sometimes you just don't even have the time or the energy for 5 steps. Okay, so in today's episode, I'm going to be going over super easy spell casting for the busy witch. And this is less of like a formula or like step 1, step 2, step 3. It's going to be tips that I use in my own practice, but tips to help you cast spells easily. Okay. And I have 5 of them today. I'm so happy. I'm so excited about this one. When I got done writing it, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this. Okay. So number 1, keep in mind that the easiest form of spell casting is focusing on your intention, visualizing it, and sending it into the world. That is the easiest form of spell casting. It requires no tools except you. You are the magic. Always remember that. I'm going to say that about 87 times in this episode. Okay. No tools, no candle, no herbs, no gemstones, no nothing. It does not require anything except you. Okay. I do still recommend, even when you're just thinking about your intention, visualizing it, and then sending it into the world, I do recommend grounding down first. Okay, this is just a good practice. If you ground down, you're going to be a little bit more protected. You're going to be able to send things out further. You have to think of a tree with very strong roots. Okay, a tree with roots deep into the earth can grow and grow and grow and expand its branches outward. Okay, you are the same when it comes to energy. So the more you can ground your energy down, the more that you can send it out into the world. Okay. And I do also still recommend just a quick thank you at the end, expressing your gratitude for being able to perform magic, for being a magical person, for, given this opportunity today, however you want to express gratitude. So I do still recommend adding those 2 steps to just, focusing your intention, visualizing it, and sending it into the world. But again, that narrows it down to like 3, grounding, visualizing and sending your stuff into the world, and then giving your gratitude at the end. Okay. But this easiest form of spell casting is why why understanding the concept that you are always manifesting is so important. Okay. You have got to understand the concept that you are always manifesting, whether you realize it or not. Okay. Your thoughts manifest, your actions manifest, your words manifest. Okay. So you are always sending out intentions into the world, whether you are consciously doing it or not. And this is why being aware and conscious of your thoughts, actions, and energy are key when you are a witch. Okay. I thoroughly go over this concept in episode 158, How Mindset Can Make or Break Your Magic. So if you want to dive more into that, I highly recommend that episode, because it really helps you understand that you are always manifesting. So if you're a person that just generally thinks negatively and then negative shit is always happening to you, that's why. You don't have to sit down and send out into the universe, I wish something bad happens to me today. But if you're just always in this negative state, that's what's going to be attracted to you, and then shit's just going to happen, okay? But the same is also like you come across those people that it seems like everything they touch turns to gold, or they're always lucky, quote unquote, or good stuff is always happening to them. This is because they understand that they're always manifesting. They understand that their energy plays a huge role in this, and so therefore they are conscious of this, they're mindful of this, and they're always staying in that groove of like positive thoughts, or, not doing negative self-talk, keeping their vibe high, all of that. Okay. So that was number one. Number two, to power up your intention. So if you're going to go with the baseline of the easiest spell to cast is just simply sitting there, thinking about your intention, visualizing it coming to you, visualizing it happening to you, and then that's sending it out into the world. Then the next step is to power up your intention. Pick your favorite tool, just one, and use it. Okay, so this can be candles. This can be herbs. This can be incense, oil, gemstones. But pick one of your favorite and add it to your intention. So charge up a candle and light it to send it into the world. Hold a gemstone while you are thinking about it and then carry that gemstone around with you, or a piece of jewelry. Light some herbs or some incense while sending your intention out into the world. Pick your favorite and use that, okay? Or if you like holding a wand, and like holding this particular wand that maybe you made or you had made for you, or you found a cool stick on the ground and it really makes you feel witchy, then use that. And if holding that and then directing your energy out into the world makes you feel witchy, then that's going to empower your intention even more, okay? So whatever makes you happy and feeling witchy as fuck, use it. Do not judge. If it is a blanket that you wrap around you, and when you are in there, you feel like you are in a cozy magical cave, and whenever you think thoughts, whatever you're thinking happens, and you've realized this, then put that blanket on and think your happy thoughts, It has to be personal to you. Okay, so it can be something that you've never heard of on a podcast or a website or anything, but if it works for you, it works for you. Use it, okay? This is why writing down your spells and keeping records really helps with this. It helps you figure out what tools and things work for you, and what things don't work for you. Like maybe you've tried incense and it just gives you a headache and you're like, I don't care how many people say light incense to cleanse, I cannot do it. Don't keep doing it if it doesn't resonate with you, okay? Maybe you've tried working with gemstones, you just get nothing from them. Maybe you've tried working with candles and nothing happens. But again, you have this cozy blanket that for whatever reason you put on you, you start thinking happy thoughts and those things come to you. Use your cozy blanket. It's personal to you. You're creating your witchcraft practice, and that is different for every single witch, okay? All right, flip in the notebook. Number 3, keep in mind that magic can be performed anywhere. Anywhere. At your desk, at work, sitting in your sacred space, when you're laying in bed at night, when you're sitting at a red light in your car. Magic can be performed anywhere. You don't have to have the quote unquote perfect setup to perform magic and to have your magic be powerful. Again, you are the magic, okay? So you can perform magic anywhere. And to go back to the first point I made, you are always performing magic. You are always manifesting. You are always sending out intentions into the world, okay? So you do not have to be in front of your altar on a Saturday to perform this spell for protection and discipline, okay? You are the magic. And I wanted to share here one of my favorite things to do. is I come up with rhyming spells or mantras while I'm driving. This was something I started doing when I had anxiety really bad and was borderline agoraphobic, and I had to leave the house. So like, let's say I had to go to a doctor's appointment, or I had to go to a meeting at my kid's school. And I really didn't want to leave the house. I would get in the car and I would start some kind of mantra. And for me, I love making things rhyme. It's just easier to remember. So I would come up with some kind of mantra that dealt with either my drive, like I do it a lot when the weather's bad here and I have to go out. So I'll come up with like a protection spell. Very easy, that's why I rhyme it, because it's easy to remember. And then I just repeat it the entire drive, like repeat it in my head or repeat it out loud if I'm in the car by myself, the entire drive. But I would do this either for like protection if the weather was bad, or if there was a certain intention once I got to a certain place. So like if I was having a meeting and I wanted the meeting to go well, or, it was a doctor's appointment and I wanted to, have positive results at this doctor's appointment. So I would make up a spell and rhyme it and then say it the entire drive there. That is just one huge energy building magical session that happened in my car. It has happened in my car so many times I could not even count. And it's probably one of the things that helped me get through my anxiety. It gives you, especially if you do have anxiety, you're focusing on this mantra and focus on driving. It just becomes like a thing you kind of just say in the back of your head, but it empowers you as you're driving. It becomes a mantra. It becomes part of you. So that is absolutely one of my favorite things to do. And that is magic. And that is extremely powerful magic. Okay. Number 4, if you are worried about timing, phrase your spell to match. Okay. So this is great if you work with the moon phases, okay? And you really try to tailor your magic. That's one of the things you love doing, is working with the energy of the moon phase, okay? But let's say you want to attract something to you. You want to do a spell that attracts something to you, like a new job, a hot date, money, and you want to attract something to you, but it's the waning moon phase. And you're like, oh, the waning moon phase is for pushing away, repelling, banishing. So do I have to sit here and wait for the waxing moon phase to come around? No, I've never subscribed to that. Just rephrase your spell to fit the timing. Okay. So for example, you would want to say like, I remove obstacles blocking my path to a hot date. I remove the obstacles blocking me from getting the job I desire. I remove the obstacles that are blocking the money and abundance from flowing to me if it's the waning moon phase. Okay. Same goes for the reverse. Let's say, I think you can do protection spells at any point, but let's say, it is the waxing moon phase where you're attracting to you, but you want to banish something. Okay. Then you would actually attract the opposite. Okay. So let's say you want to banish anxiety. So you would say, I attract to me strength, calmness, and the ability to overcome my anxiety right now. And those are the things you attract to. Oh, I just got like full body goosebumps. So I don't know who was supposed to hear that one, but somebody listening was supposed to hear that about the anxiety, and like, I attract to me the ability to overcome my anxiety. There you go. I just got like it's like goosebumps upon goosebumps right now. That's crazy. Okay. So that's why I've never, I want to say in the beginning, this was actually born out of necessity. I can't remember the exact spell. But I can remember the scenario where I was very much into moon magic. This would have probably been maybe 10, 15 years ago. I was very much into timing my spells with the moon, and something came up and I think we needed money. I do remember it was like a tax refund that we just had not gotten, and we had filed our taxes like weeks before, and it wasn't like we went on like the IRS website and it was like, refund pending. And we were like, oh my God, we needed this for now for some reason. And so it was the waning moon phase to get rid of it. And I was like, I can't wait till the waxing moon phase. We need this money now. And so I was like, fuck it. I'll just rephrase it to be like, I removed the obstacles that are blocking our tax refund from coming to us. And that was it was either a Tuesday or a Thursday, and bam, the money was deposited that Friday. So it was born out of necessity, but I love loopholes. I'm a witch that absolutely loves loopholes. So doing things my own way, in a way where I feel like I'm almost tricking things around me makes me very happy. I don't know why. It's probably the rebel in me, the Aquarian in me, but I love finding loopholes to get what I want. So yeah, that's tip number 4. Number 5, use what you have. Honestly, don't stress about, having to have the perfect this, the perfect that. You will never find the perfect thing. If you're constantly looking for something, as far as like upgrading, so if you think, oh, I have to have the perfect wand, and you have a wand right now that has been working for you great, but you're like, oh, but it's not the perfect wand. Like, why is the wand you have, if it's working beautifully and you love it, it is the perfect wand for you. Okay. So I guess what I mean is more like shed the ideals of a perfect aesthetic of something, like, oh, but my wand is a stick I literally found, on the ground during a walk one day. It's not gorgeous and soldered with gemstones and like I saw on Pinterest one time. That's the perfect wand. No, the wand you have that you found walking on a nature walk, that you resonated with, that you picked up and you were like, this is the coolest stick ever, I'm using it as a wand. That is the perfect wand for you. So that's what I mean by that. But use what you have. Kitchen herbs and spices work the same as herbs bought from a witchcraft store. Okay. So if you need cinnamon, go to your spice cabinet and get cinnamon. It's going to work the same as cinnamon that you purchased from us. I promise you. Okay. Now, if you want a different form of cinnamon and you can't find that type of cinnamon at the grocery store, then order from a store. Or the more exotic roots, like, the grocery store's not going to have mugwort for you. Okay. But kitchen herbs and spices work the same. Okay. White candles are all purpose. Okay. So if you are short on money, just buy a bunch of white candles. You can use them for anything. But if you need to do a money spell and all you have is a black candle, charge that black candle with your money spell intentions and use it anyway. Okay. And charge candles in your dominant hand, and you just charge them. Oh, good Lord. Shook the table, shook everything. You just hold the candle in your dominant hand and just think about your intention. Okay. Magic is not about the tools. It is about you. Okay. So use what you have. You don't have to wait around for the quote unquote perfect tools or the perfect setup. Or if you're a beginner witch and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to cast my first spell because I have to have a cauldron and a wand and an athame and a chalice and the perfect incense. Don't. Use what you have and build as you move along. You don't have to have any of the tools. Find what resonates with you along your journey and use that. So if you find a cauldron that makes you giggle, use it. You don't need a cauldron though. If you find a chalice somewhere along the line that you absolutely love, use it. If you find a wand, or if you purchase a wand and it makes you happy, then use it. But you don't need any of these things to cast a spell. You can use what you have, okay? My first lesson in this was a bowline or bowline for, only magical use for kitchen, like cutting herbs and stuff. Like, I think it's a bowline, isn't it? Isn't that or is the bowline the like moon-shaped one? No, a bowline is like a white-handled knife, right? Anyway, in Wicca, there's a white-handled knife that you're only supposed to use for cutting like herbs. And I think we all start out with Wicca or a lot of us started out, especially if you started out like the 90s or before, because that was the only way you could get information about witchcraft, was reading books on Wicca. And in Wicca, there's very specific tools that you have to have. And that is why I love you if you are Wiccan, but you can shed some of that. You don't have to have it. But I just remember the white-handled knife. And it was like, You have to have a magical white-handled knife to cut your herbs with, and that is the only knife that you could use to cut herbs. And I'm like, I don't have a white-handled knife. I have a kitchen knife. Is that good enough? And I was like, fuck it, that's good enough. Use what you have, okay? I have used, let me tell you all, chopsticks from the Chinese food takeout place to stir my magical potions before. Yeah, chopsticks. I was like, oh shit, I don't have my, like if I'm doing stuff on the fly, especially here at the shop too, we use chopsticks for our oils, our spell oils all the time. If we're making a big batch of it, that's actually what we use, are chopsticks, you know, hold it, enchant it real quick, like charge it with your energy, be like, you are now a magical chopstick. And when I use you to stir my magical potion, it's going to empower the potion with my energy. So it be. Fucking do that. Okay. Anything you have, use what you have, empower it with your own energy, charge it with your own energy. It then becomes magical. Okay. Oh my God. That's it. That's all 5. Holy shit. I love this. Okay. So I mentioned Ink Spirit Coven earlier, the spellcasting lesson. We also have a lesson on spellcasting in the lesson archives. Also have a lesson on rituals that we just did this year. So that is also available in the lesson archive. So if you are an Ink Spirit member and you are listening, you can go back to those too if you want the full 12-step, 9-step, 5-step, whatever process for spellcasting, but then also the ritual format, like a formal ritual format. If you do want to learn about that kind of stuff, I do highly recommend reading the formal stuff and then figuring out what works for you, because you might find that casting a circle every single time in a certain way you absolutely love. You know, you don't know until you explore it. So at least for the Ink Spirit members, we do have lessons on spellcasting as well as ritual formats. I've even done a circle casting thing recently. So if you're a member, you can go to those lessons. If you're not a member, I highly recommend you join us. I teach one lesson and hold a workshop every month. We have a sacred space every month. Everything's done on Zoom. This is the way that I am in the coven. This is the way that I teach. And you do get access to our lesson archives in Circle. Everything is held on Circle now. So we're no longer on Facebook because Meta sucks. I can't stress that enough too. Yeah, my week's been hell because of Meta support, question mark. Yeah, they caused me to have panic attacks this week. So Meta support sucks. Meta sucks. Anyway. So yeah, everything is on our Circle community app now, and it's super easy to download, super easy. Everything is like so organized. It's so gorgeous. So if you would like to join our online coven, you can learn more at inkedspirit.com and sign up there. And then for the Patreon bonus this week, I'm giving you all 5 of my favorite easy 1-ingredient spells. 1-ingredient spells. Love them. They're super quick, super easy, and that's what the Patreon bonus content is. So if you would like access, every podcast gets bonus content. You can head to patreon.com/inkedgoddesscreations and sign up there, because even the $5 a month tier gets you access to the bonus content for each episode. So I want to thank you all for being here, for being a podcast listener. I absolutely love doing the podcast every week. And so many of you have come from the podcast into Ink Spirit or over to Patreon. So I love that this podcast is like an open doorway to me, my business, all of that. But this is my hobby. So that's why that's why I did create the Patreon, because it helps support me as a witchy content creator. But I definitely want to thank you all for being here and for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, because that helps the algorithm send the podcast out to more magically curious people just like you. But yeah, thank you for being here, for listening, for giving me a platform to be my crazy self and share my knowledge. And I will see you all next week. Bye. If you're looking for a magical community where you can just be yourself, check out my Ink Spirit Coven. The Coven is an online learning circle for eclectic witches who want to learn new witchcraft practices and how to easily incorporate magic into their daily lives, all while being supported on their personal spiritual journey. And you'll have me as your magical mentor, sharing my knowledge, answering questions, and facilitating the online community. Head to inkspirit.com to learn more and join. And if unique witchcraft supplies made by witches for witches is just what you need, head to my store, inkgoddesscreations.com, to see what we have to enhance your magical practice. We also have the Ink Goddess Creations box, a monthly subscription of magic mail filled with exclusive items that fit a magical theme. Head to the site to see this month's theme and sneak peeks.